Alright, fellas. Here she sits now tonight. A little rainy, but I kind of like rainy nights because, you know, you wake up and it's not as hot. So, I mean, I like it this way, but here she sits. We got the power station up top. Xbox sitting behind it. So now, you know, I can have music. I can have whatever I want in here. Playing all night. I can run the Xbox and the TV for about 10 hours off a full charge. Full charge only takes me like maybe an hour and a half of just sitting inside and using the electric in there. So yeah, I mean, I got everything I need. My grandma just hooked me up with some storage this weekend. Thanks, Gma. I'm gonna turn the music down so you can hear me a little better. But yeah, Gma hooked me up with some storage. That's pretty cool. Grabbing the flashlight now. But as you can see, storage down here for clothes, you know. And then I got water in this cardboard thing right here, and then way back there I got my food. So if I want to get food, I just go over there and it just pulls out from the other side of the bed. Like I'll show you right now. Like I flashlight's in my mouth, so. But yeah, we just pull it out right here. Walk around. Boom, we got food right here. Trash cans right here. So I mean, and then, you know, back here is just where I keep a little bit of everything. So if I feel like running to the store to get anything like cold, I have a cooler in here. But I ran that for about 2 weeks, and then I realized it's not really what I wanted to do. So because I'm running really low cost right now, I'm operating in a pocket of about 30 to 40 bucks for groceries. But yeah, so down here I have, you know, everything for roadside assistance, like a lamp, ratchet straps. I got zip ties and another quart of oil if I ever need it. I also have another I think quart and a half of coolant on deck in case I need it. In here I keep a little bit of everything. I find myself using deodorant a lot in the van because it gets really hot. So this is where I put all my hygiene stuff, so it's just easy to grab. It's right here. On the way out, you know, I can just do a quick wipe right there. You know, just some random stuff I keep in there. But yeah, here she sits now. So this week I'm actually trying out something new. I decided I'm gonna keep my laundry in the front seat until I get a laundry basket. I'm probably gonna get one next week. But just to make laundry easier for me to do when I get home, I'm gonna keep everything here. Before I was putting it up in mom's attic, which was kind of a fucking nuisance to get out when I came home, because, you know, I have all my electronics up there. I don't feel like putting all my clothes up there. It's just gonna cause a cooling issue. It's gonna cause a heating, cooling issue, and then it's just gonna cause issues, and, you know, battery consumption is gonna be off the charts. So just figured I'd move everything down. Why not? But yeah, my storage is really, really nice though. I mean, like, look at this stuff. I can't even make this stuff up, dude. Like, it's beautiful. You know, all the shit I need right there. Boom, done right there. But yeah. So one thing I want to get, definitely, I need a laundry basket. I want to get a doormat here because I find it raining a lot, and then this water tracks its way into the bed, and then it's fucking annoying. So yeah, that's one thing I want to get. Other than that, next thing I'm probably gonna get would be an oil change. I should have done it a lot sooner. But she definitely needs another quart of oil. Since I bought her, she's been needing oil, so I'm gonna change that. Ah, fuck, I left this shit open. God damn it. But yeah, and then next thing I'm gonna do probably is test it for mold. I have a pretty sensitive nose towards mold, but from working in mold restoration, so I feel like I'd be able to detect if there was mold, but you never know. If it's in small traces, it can still affect you. But yeah, so then here we are at the back. So yeah, the back is kind of just a jumble of stuff. It's nothing really important, but I'll grab the key so I can show you. I think I have it on me actually, but yeah, I'll show you the back. I mean, it's such a super fancy. It's just a little bullshit I put out here because I really need Sorry. This is a bunch of bullshit I put back here. I really need the space. So, here we are at the back. Sorry, I know it's really dark back here. But yeah, here we are at the back. Yeah, I just keep my guitar back here. A kid in my class needed a shampoo vacuum, so I brought it. Then I brought the wrong one, so I brought another one. I put this one in here, and it's been here for a couple weeks. I have a broom, some hangers that came with it. I gotta take them out. I'm gonna clean all this when I get home this week. I had a problem with this sewer hose that was fucking dragging after I went to go see a girl in PA. I hopped a curb, and it was dragging, so I just cut it off. I'm not using any of the bathroom back here. All this space right here is unutilized. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing is I'm probably gonna end up keeping this cabinet and keeping this housing, and then all the pipes, everything under here, I'm gonna demo and take out. All this carpet's gonna come out, and I'm either gonna use this for storage for a bicycle, or keep tools in here, or something along the lines of that, just to utilize the space a little better, because I need the storage. I really do. It's like a trunk of a car, you know what I mean? It's about, you know, about 3 feet on the bottom and maybe 2 foot on the top, so it's a lot of unutilized storage that I'm not really using. Yeah, back here's my heater and everything. So there's the old sewer hose that I cut off. I didn't want to litter, so I just put it in there. And then, you know, the shower curtain that, you know, I haven't really touched yet. It came with the van, and just some extra hoses and that kind of bullshit, just stuff that I'm not really going to need. So this all is due before winter, but I'm hoping just to not worry about it right now. I mean, it's finals week, and I really don't want to worry about any of this bullshit back here right now. So usually what I do is I just close it and I forget about it. But yeah, that's how she sits now. Nice little van, 88, sitting on 280,000 miles. Not a bad setup for about 4 weeks in. So keep in mind, I am a broke college student, and this is the best that I could do with the money that I've been working on the weekends to shuffle into the van, and, you know, and my social life and stuff like that. So far, putting money into the van, I'm about maybe about $700 or $800 in. I've had it for about 4 weeks, so far no major problems. Knock on wood, fucking no major problems have presented themselves. I did, when I first got the van, the bed, it was a single, but me and my brother, we have a side business from demolition, so all this wood I got for free. I built this myself. As you can see, it's fucking, you know, it's not the best. It's not the best. And the way that I built it was I temporarily rigged it up. But because I temporarily rigged it up, because I wanted the ability to change it back into a bench if I ever wanted to do that. Which now I kind of regret that. I wish I would have just installed it just, you know, straight in, because a lot of the times I find myself with having to readjust the legs or having to push this back in sometimes. But for now, it's not really bad. I mean, these were really hard to sleep on, so I went and bought this mattress topper. It was about 80 bucks, but I mean, it's a 3-inch mattress topper, so a lot of the stuff I find myself complaining about, I usually fix the next week when I get the chance. The first few weeks in here were hard without power and everything. I just got this. This is my second day running the power station, so everything in here seems to be good. I didn't have TV. I didn't really have anything. I was just charging everything in the school, which, mind you, this is my school right here. This is where I study. So this is where I do all my stuff. But this way I can focus on my studies. I have Wi-Fi from the school and everything. So really my only cost to maintain this thing, it's really just you know, groceries and gas and car insurance, and that's it. That's all I have to do. And my schooling is free because, you know, your boy got married at a young age, so everything's going good. It's all looking good, and it's all working itself out. But yeah, back. All right, yeah, so that was the tour. But I just wanted to talk to you about a few things about van life. Things that, you know, a lot of people won't really tell you about van life, and they're not gonna, I guess, be honest with you about the lifestyle. some things aren't as glamorous as they make it up to be. And so, here I have a quick list of pros and cons of, the lifestyle and the choices and sacrifices that come with it. So first one, getting into cons first, and then we'll touch on pros at the end, to end on a good note. So cons, for most people, the reason why they don't get into it is the absurd startup costs for, van life. Unless you have a rig lying around, which I highly doubt that you do, or something along the lines of that. I mean, look, you could go bare bones and you could sleep in your Prius or whatever you want, right? But if you want to truly be comfortable, the high startup cost is what deters a lot of people from the lifestyle. It's probably number one reason why people don't do what we do, in a sense. So yeah, high startup cost. This rig cost me $7,000 to go into. I didn't have $7,000 lying around. I pulled out a loan, but I looked at it as an investment. This van is going to get me through college, which will eventually make me my money back tenfold. So I figured, having to pull out the loan right now sucks. But right now, if I just pay off the interest from now, when I get out and get a job, I'll pay it off in the first year or two. No problem, easy. So yeah, there's that. So high startup cost being number one. Now listen, number two, high maintenance cost. Now for me personally, I have a high maintenance cost because I chose to go with an older rig. But depending on the rig that you go on, your maintenance cost wouldn't be as high if you do your research correctly and you truly do look into the things that you should research, like fuel efficiency being number one. So fuel efficiency is extremely important for this lifestyle, being the fact that the whole point of being in a van is so it moves. So why not just live in a shed in the woods? You know what I mean? It moves, your house moves. It's pretty cool. It's the number one benefit of having a van, I guess, in a sense. That's literally number one on pros. We'll get into that later. But so high maintenance costs depending on the rig that you get. My fuel efficiency is about 11 miles to the gallon. So my fuel tanks hold 8 gallons of fuel. So every fill up is roughly about $20 if I'm in Jersey. In Pennsylvania, it's a little higher. So basically, to get up and down from school every single week, I have to have at least $80 in fuel costs just to even get here. Okay, so roughly that right there, in a sense, is enough to deter certain people. But if I were to get a better rig, like a Ram Transit or a Mercedes Sprinter, if I had Mercedes Sprinter money, I wouldn't have the 11 miles to the gallon dilemma that I have going on. But I mean, there are certain things you could do to, I guess, increase your fuel efficiency, such as weight reduction in the right foot. That's a big one on people. I mean, if you know how to drive, you don't use that much gas. It might take you longer to get somewhere, but if it saves you money, it saves you money. And hey man, money don't grow on trees. So yeah, weight reduction in the right foot. If you run octane booster is debatable. A lot of people say that it increased fuel efficiency. A lot of people will say the opposite. So depending on how you feel about that. Tire pressure is a big one. Making sure your tires are always topped off and always running evenly is insanely important to fuel efficiency. Tire pressure and weight reduction in the right foot are your two biggest ones right there. Making sure that those two are good and you will be fine fuel wise, depending on the rig that you get. So yeah, there goes maintenance. Right now, the third one I want to talk about is lifestyle choices. You make a lot of sacrifices running the lifestyle, you know what I mean, such as you give up a lot of comfortability and you step outside of your comfort zone with some things. So for instance, me personally, I don't have a shower on the rig. Okay, I need my shower. I do. I go to the gym and I shower every single day. So that means every day I have to wake up around 3 p.m., 4 p.m., depending on, I go to class at 5, so I'll drive over to the gym. It's right down the street, so I save money, and it's a 24-hour gym, so I can shower whenever I want. I go in and I'll work out and I'll shower, or maybe I'll just shower that day depending on how I'm feeling. And so that's one thing I had to get used to, being the fact that me personally in high school, I never really did any sports. I never really knew shower etiquette shower etiquette, locker room etiquette. I had to learn all of that stuff going into it. So that's another sacrifice that I had to make. So, sometimes an old man sees you naked in the locker room, and it's okay because I saved 40 grand. So at the end of the day, I do not care. It's another thing you have to get used to. Now, using the bathroom is another big one. Now, if you do have the money for a compost toilet, I recommend you get one. But if you don't, then do what I do. Now, me personally, I'm not in the wilderness. I'm running urban van life. So people would say it's stealth camping or whatever. This rig there's nothing stealth about the rig at all. Everyone knows that I'm in here. So, running a compost toilet would be kind of embarrassing, taking my waste out in the school parking lot and everything. So it's just not something I want to do. So personally, what I do is I use either the school bathroom, I'll use the gym bathroom, or whatever. I'll make it work. Sometimes I even use real late at night and I gotta go and you gotta go and you can't, there's no time to drive down to the gym. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And in a sense, it's survival of the fittest out here. So I'm not gonna get into much detail about that, but you gotta go. So after that, the sacrifices you make, I'm gonna get into people. Now, for me personally, like I said, I'm urban. So basically the city and, New York in a sense, you get a lot of strange looks from people, especially my peers. Knowing that I don't leave here at night. I stay here at the school at night, and it's hard for some people to understand that. So my peers, that's another thing that would deter a lot of people from this lifestyle, is that, people treat me like I'm poor sometimes. They, and it's one of the things you get from being on a budget. When you're on a budget, although I'm saving money and I'm making money, people treat me like I'm poor, which kind of sucks sometimes. And I don't have the most money. I really don't. My clothes, I have holes in my clothes. For instance, look at my shoes. You know what I mean? These are my shoes. I've had them since 8th grade, and they're quite literally falling apart. There's a hole right here in my shoe. You know what I mean? So, I get treated like I'm poor a lot of the times. A lot of people are always asking me if I'm okay, and that's probably been the hardest part about it is I guess the societal pressure on me to be like everybody else and to just get an apartment and get a lease and fit in. That's been the only thing that's really been hard for me, is I guess the embarrassment of, when I didn't have power, having to sit in the school when I didn't have any classes and just sit there for hours and charge my electronics and you know what I mean, and people seeing me come in and out of the van during the day, knowing that I'm the kid that lives on campus is I guess in a sense embarrassing, and it is degrading sometimes, but if it saves me money, it saves me money, and that's not funny. So if I have to put up with it, I'll put up with it. So like I said, not a big deal to me, really. I'm not one to try and fit in with other people. I do what I want, and at the end of the day, if it saves me money, it's no joke to me, and I don't really care. So with that being said, that is cons. We are now going to get into pros of van life, just to end on a good note. So number one, pros, like I said earlier, maneuverability is number one. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not really going to go into it. It's pretty cool having a house on wheels. If I want to sleep somewhere else tonight, I can. If I want to move it into the shade, I can. If I want to, I don't know, I can. I literally can. You can just bring all the stuff you own to one spot if you want for the night. You could sleep in the woods tonight in a scenic spot, or maybe you have a girl you want to take on a date and you want to bring her somewhere scenic for the night. You can. These are all things that you can do given the fact that you have a rig. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and that's why it's number one. So number two, it's fun to have friends and to have people over in the van. It's pretty cool. Going out and tailgating and bringing it to car shows, or certain things that I've done the past 4 weeks have been pretty sick. I mean, just having buddies in here and driving around, music, and then having a few friends in the back and then one person in the front. It's pretty cool, you know what I mean? It's a different atmosphere than a regular car. You know, someone can chill, they can be in the back, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, I just got the power station. You could literally play Xbox while I drive. Now, there won't be Wi-Fi, but I mean, it's pretty cool. It's not a regular car. So I mean, it's cool to have people in here, and it's cool to have people over into my space, given that it's so small. So yeah, there's that. Now meeting other people of van life is pretty cool. I've only met 2 people who have been doing van life. I met the kid who I bought this rig off of, which he was pretty cool. He brought the rig to Utah and he gave me some tips on how, you know, just start out and everything. Really cool guy. But I met another kid who actually goes to school here, but he doesn't sleep in the parking lot. He actually sleeps at his work. His rig is a lot cooler than mine. He has a Ram Transit, so that's pretty cool. And he has solar panels mounted on the top of his van. Pretty cool guy. He was looking at my situation and everything, and he was recommending that I keep the generator, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep the generator. I didn't really get into that into the tour because I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it or not. So yeah, meeting other people who do van life is pretty cool, and it's nice. It makes you feel like, you know, you're not, I guess, in a sense, alone. And then the last one, getting outside of your comfort zone is a big thing, especially when you're trying to grow as a person. So I guess living in the van has really helped me mature over the past few weeks, and it's really changed my perspective on life. And then a lot of things that I take for granted, I no longer take for granted anymore, like such as you know, internet, running water, electricity, things like this. I don't take for granted anymore. And you know, before van life, to go to school, I was staying up in hotels, and I used to think the hotels I was staying at, because I you know, I always get the cheapest one just to save money, and I used to think how shitty they were and everything. Now I look back and I see those hotels as fucking luxury. You know what I mean? To have 2 beds, not only 1, 2 beds in one room, and running water, and a fucking shower right there, and all this other stuff right there, and a working fridge right there, and it's nuts to me. And you know what I mean? It's nuts. But so I guess it's really up to my morale when I'm home, given the fact that I am only part-time. So I guess in a sense, the van has put me through a lot of struggle, but it's also shown me a lot of things in life that I take for granted in a sense. So yeah, that's basically the rundown of the lifestyle, and the choices you have to make, and the obstacles you have to overcome. So if you are thinking about it, just keep this video in mind, and just keep in mind that this is up front, most honest review you're probably gonna get from a newcomer. So yeah, just a little thought for you.